Okay, I'm gonna try and do another probably 45 minutes or so. Um, I'm thinking about trying like a schedule. I'm thinking maybe 3, 4 times a week, 45 minutes. Was that 2 hours and 15 minutes a week? That seems pretty light, you know? Commutes and free times and stuff like that. I wanna maybe even just 2 a week. Um, I don't even know what to talk about. Sorry, I'm kind of I've been flustered lately. Um, but I was thinking about stuff. I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes, and a lot of the stuff is gonna probably sound really stupid. Maybe it'll make sense, maybe it won't, but I'll try and cover my mistakes the best I can. I'm gonna try and just go for volume instead of like nitpicky stuff because I'm gonna end up making mistakes anyway. So I figured this is just the best way to do it. First off, I'm literally even too lazy to go back and look at this stuff, so I might reiterate stuff and not make a lot of sense. But yeah. So let's just start off something I was thinking about today. I think I talked about this before, but I'm gonna make a. I don't know why I'm still getting comfortable with all this stuff. Call it the pay to win relations game. If you know, pay to win, pay to level up relations game. If you can figure out what that is, it's been legal and not legal. And I think it should be legal. I don't know if I'd use it just because it'd probably be expensive and I'm broke. I'm not a rich person at all. Or at least it'd probably be all over the board, But I think it should be legal. It'd obviously be risky, and there'd be papers you have to sign, and probably tests that you have to do. Like blood tests and maybe physical examinations and whatnot. But I think those should be more common anyway. It should be like streamlined. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a concern whether it be the moral degradation of society. There's already, there's freedom of speech and stuff like that, but like people want to do stuff, and if you can regulate it and tax it, just like with substances, it I mean, at least this, it, like with, if we're talking the THC, the devil's lettuce, crime has gone down, and then different crimes go up, and it'd probably be the same for, the pay to win stuff, pay to win relations game. But you'd probably, what would really be happening is you'd probably be, more aware of the things that go down on the shady side of the pay to win relations game, because the pay to win, people pay to win the relations game, and stuff happens. But if you could regulate it and have it be less stigmatized, then you could become more aware. I think definitely there'd be less of an incentive to abuse someone in the pay to win relations game field. That being said, Majorem paradigm would help all around. If everyone was proud of their commitment to widespread long-term good, and the stigmatism was around any type of shadiness or badness to anyone, then I think it would be greatly disincentivized, which is another reason why Majorem paradigm is so great. Because I've never done it, but I'm sure that, I'm not going to say pure good times come out of it, but compared to everything else, I just can't imagine, like if something like 40% of all marriages are ending in divorce, having people getting a feel for, intimate relations, whether it's pay to win or not, but let's just say pay to win because that's what we're on. It's not that morally, I don't think it's that morally, it just doesn't make sense to me. Our civilization, America, the United States, has a heavy influence from the Bible, but I don't agree with the premise that the Bible is built on, and I think a lot of people don't, and we in a lot of ways, we've become Rome. We've become these late stage empires. And if we don't find a new compass, if you will, then we're probably gonna hit some pretty. I mean, we're gonna be hitting the rocks harder than we already have been, in my opinion. And people are scared of that, and it takes people to speak up and say, look, we gotta make some changes. And I think really the best thing you can do is throw it on one of these and just talking about why it's effective, and just speaking your truth, and just being the best influence you can, and bringing the best name you can to Majorem Paradigm. And I truly believe, no matter what your circumstances is, if you do that, you're bound to end up in a better position in one way or another eventually. I gotta make some tea. I'm tired. So you're coming with me. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Here's some tea making ASMR while I think of what to say next. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll be promoting it on my Snapchat. And other places, but yeah. I gotta get this hair out of my way too. Another thing, substances that affect your hormones and stuff like that. I didn't want to do them dirty like that. I think I said, output, war and stuff like that, physique and entertainment, and I don't think I said that, but I wanted to say that because that's another big driver. Competition. Yeah. What else was there? Oh man, I really think too that Majorem Paradigm is really gonna change the way, change the field of psychology, because mental health is always changing, and new mental illnesses are arising. Much like physical illnesses, they, you know, they don't. Um, they don't. They have causes, right? But the causes become more and more complex as we'll just say evil for the case of simplicity, inequality, just bad logic becomes more and more complex. So evil becomes more complex, the mental illnesses become more complex, and it's an ongoing battle, and categorizing certain symptoms of, let's just call it, base or umbrella term for mental illness, for this sake, let's just call it stress or distress. What should I say? Emotional distress. I'm going to say that. There's different kinds. There's schizophrenia. There's autism. There's PTSD. The list goes on. And those are very effective ways to categorize and experiment with different ways of treating them. You're consolidating the complexity of each person into a label, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because certain labels, they have similar treatments that are, I'm not going to say always effective, but they have a tendency to have the same positive effect for people in certain situations. I'll give you an example. I was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. So that means that it basically means you hear, you may hear, you may not hear, different voices, but it's not full-blown catatonic schizophrenia, and you can, you can't function in daily life and stuff like that, and I was recommended medication, mood stabilizers, antidepressants, and stuff like that, which did help me for a time, but I eventually turned it down because I realized it wasn't what was best for me. And long story short, I came up with this. The Majorem paradigm is a code of defending your sanity. You label yourself as a good person and you do good things, and that sometimes that means you have to sing songs that aren't so pleasant to people. If someone's talking, obviously, let's just start with the physical. If someone physically attacks you, you have to be able to physically, you have a right you should feel like you have a right to physically defend yourself. And same thing goes with the emotional side. If someone's lying about you, making rumors about you, it's not going to feel comfortable for the person that you're correcting, but you absolutely have a right to do so. And this is where we start to get into how the Majorem paradigm, I think, will affect the way psychology is looked at, is because although the categorization of the different types of distress has many, many beneficial effects, it also can have some stark negative effects. For instance, if you're diagnosed with schizophrenia, anything really, PTSD, or anything, that has been known to bring on negative emotions, right? Whether from just their own emotional atmosphere or from people around them. So where this kind of comes in, you can't seriously, like, I'm gonna use the an old word here. I think it should be all right. But there's the word retarded. Okay. Retarded is an old psychological term, and different, more specific labels for the different types of distress sort of stem from that, and the old word retarded had been phased out. Growing up, I heard that word a lot, but although it's harsh, although it is negatively, it carries strong negative connotations. This is a word that has been used for sort of societal warning, I guess you could say. What you did there was below the status quo, is basically what was being said, and that's scary. If we look back at the main moral guidances of today's world, it's going to be religion. And I was raised Catholic, I don't know if you knew that or not, but I was. And we're supposed to love everyone, and you turn the other cheek and everything like that, and you be kind to everyone. And that's what they say. Jesus was kind to everyone. Other religions, so like Judaism and Islam, they are slightly different, but that's their main attraction. We're kind people, we're fair people, so in a sense, let's just group them all in the category of, if you are a member of our society, you're treated kindly and fairly. the problem with that is raising someone, especially, you know, in an emotionally turmoil society, and it's a very soft, almost like pleading, you know, like you're almost empowering the you know, and I'm saying this as a warning. I think this is where a lot of this, I'm sure I've gone astray from this, and it's cost me very, very negatively in the future. It, you know, these harsh bites, you know, that they almost feel like it's not like a no, come this way, don't do that, no. It comes across to the naive mind as almost playful. Like, I did this harsh thing, and I get this soft, coddling, sort of persuasive, like, no, don't do that, come on. It's the harsh, and this keeps things from getting physical. But the words that have obvious harsh intention, like curse words and things of that nature, they have been known to keep people from doing harmful things. Now, that being said, there's the complete other side of the spectrum where those kind of words, and those words, there's an old saying, I gotta bring it up because I know people are just gonna be having this all throughout their minds. You know, I'm trying not to get frustrated, but you know, we gotta tone it back for people, because people are very hypocritical when it comes to this. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. The origins of that story were very benevolent. They were trying to lift people up towards greatness to the best of their ability, and I'm sure it has gotten countless people through hard times, and the world's definitely a better place because of it. That being said, I do think it's outdated because words can also drive people insane. You know, words do hurt people. You know, false accusations, images. You know, disgusting images that may, what do you call it? Project a small mistake onto their entire future and say this is what their future is, and that person is left stuck trying to change it. And in the relations game, you know, whether it's the casual relations game, the platonic relations game, or you know, whether it's let's just say this, whether it's the casual relations game, the monogamous relations game, or just the platonic, you know, I like being with this person, they're exciting relations game, it can put you in hell, basically. It can put you in a spot where you don't want to live anymore. You don't want to play this game anymore. You know, there's no, and this is words, you know. So that saying, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's a reinforcement, but also it can be deceptive, because when naive minds are hurt by words, it makes them feel less than the status quo, because they obviously hurt. I feel like not being alive anymore, you know? So to summarize, it's not so evil that old words from academic institutions, or even, you know, it's a strong stance to say this, but you know, well, let's just start with the old words. It's not such, you know, an evil thing. You know, it requires more context into the situation to decide of whether the misuse, we can say that, of these old academic words for sort of social balance, before you know, it requires more investigation past the initial, you know, use of the word, before I think it should be condemned. That being said, the reason I think the you know, the academic world should take a more interested approach into Majorem paradigm, is that you know, there might be a disconnect from the people who have studied, you know, and who have a, you know, a good base, you know, of these human interactions, because the academic world isn't getting with the times. I'm saying this is ahead of the times, and you know, it may seem rough and tumble, but this could prevent physical altercations, you know, and that's what I want. You know, if people could settle things with wit, you know, and humor and logic, although it may carry some strong connotations, it's better for the long term. And here's the thing, you can look back and say, well, in the past, those words and those jokes, they lead to these other things. Well, that's why it needs to be normalized. When those instances occur and say that's not the norm, you should be perfect and loving all the time, well, they feel out of the status quo. But the fact of the matter is, problems arise. Problems are bound to arise. They are bound to arise. You can't implement all of Earth's wisdom into someone's head in lickety split. It doesn't happen, and it takes a lot of practice and time to become a functioning member of society. And I think the one of the first things that should be taught and really drilled into these kids' heads is, hey, if you do something wrong, it's gonna come back on you negatively. You're gonna get jokes made about you. You're gonna get bad labels. You're gonna get ignored. And same thing goes with the physical. If you bring on the physical's coming back at you. That's just how it goes. But when things escalate to the physical, I think that's really when things, look really bad for the perpetrator, let's say, and that's you have to teach them the scale. The worse you do, the longer it's going to take to get back to put it behind you, right? The more it's going to take, the more good deeds to society it's going to take. Excuse me. I got to get my tea. But and so I can go back into that more. But essentially that's what because then education from then on is easy, but if you bring them in and you're bombarding them with all this stuff and they make a mistake or someone's doing better than them and they get frustrated and they're throwing things and they're then everything, when they get frustrated and they don't have and they're not educated on how the world works, how the world balances itself out, that's when things get really dicey, because the people that they trust the most are not showing them images of and it doesn't have to be they're not showing them images of how the world really is, and it doesn't have to be war. It doesn't have to be straight Twitter gore. It can be start out with the baby words, the poopy talk, but and because how bad of a kid can you really be? Like, I don't know, obviously keep the sharp things and stuff away from them, and keep an eye on them, obviously, but from the get-go, there's got to be like a slideshow or a demonstration or an animation or something where this is how the world works. If you throw things and you hit people, you're getting stuff thrown at you and you're getting hit. And I don't know which one would be better to do first, the words or the physical, but they're both important. And see, I don't know how to bring that in without making it I don't know how to bring it in, because I guess you could say, like, if your if you have a poopy butt on your reputation, a poopy butt allegation on your reputation, then then you don't get a lollipop or something, you know, or maybe even this might seem dark. This might seem dark, but is it really though? Is it really? I'm not trying to be a villain here, but I mean, really, I would like an academic response to this. You know, if you have a false poopy butt allegation on your reputation and you don't defend yourself against the false poopy butt allegation for whatever the, you know, why ever they were accusing you of being a poopy butt, are you entitled to that poopy butt on your reputation? Are you? Is it not the moral responsibility of the victim of the false poopy butt allegation to retaliate with his own poopy butt allegation? I'm gonna end it there because I don't think I can't come up with a better ending than that. Yeah, let me know what you think. Bye.